life living the worst dreams that you can. Well, hitchhikers never really been my style, but when you've been staying in the cold for a while, you'll take your chances and you'll go anywhere that you can, even if it's a bus stop, gas stop, some cheap hotel. You'll sleep where you can. That's the life of a homeless man.
We've all seen a homeless person on the street, and we've all been faced with the tough decision to stop and help them out, or turn around and look the other way and ignore them. Many of these homeless people just need a chance to change their lifestyle, and opportunities do not present themselves for people in the homeless community. As evident in the video, if given an opportunity to make things different in their lives, they take it in a heartbeat.
So there's always room for improvement. Wouldn't you guys rather see this problem of homelessness in our community diminish and be a part of the change? Wouldn't you guys want to see Lawrence transform into a better home for everybody and be able to say that you helped with that?
This is extremely relevant to the Lawrence community because our community struggles so much with keeping the homeless population low. And it's not something that should be overlooked or just taken as every community has homelessness. We really want to strive to increase the assistance of all of our citizens to decrease homelessness. Education for Greater Lawrence wants to create a new and improved education system for homeless to reduce the homeless population in Lawrence.
So the problems that we've identified. The first problem is the homeless population in Lawrence, clearly, that we've stated. It's obviously a problem here, and our NPO can help fix it.
Our second problem is many people in Lawrence live near the poverty line. And our goal as Education for Greater Lawrence is to reduce the amount of people in our community who are homeless as much as possible.
Our final problem is that homeless people are a large majority of them are dropouts, either from college or high school or earlier on. And the biggest problem with this is that they're at a disadvantage to all those other people who have a greater education than them.
So the homeless population in Lawrence is our first problem. According to a study conducted by thekansan.com, the homeless population is growing each year, and from the years 2013 to 2015, it has grown from 223 homeless people to 296 homeless people just in Lawrence. Of the 296 in the study conducted in 2015, 80 of them were children. Those 80 children are being deprived of an education. In order for this number to stop growing, there needs to be something done in Lawrence. And the second source is from ljworld.com. They stated that homelessness is up 25% in Lawrence in the last 2 years. So with this steady rise, the homeless population can potentially rise 100% every 8 years, unless something is done about it. With the lack of education among these people, this number will continue to grow because they don't have a way out. They're having a hard time advancing in this world with no knowledge on how to get out of their situation.
Now I'm going to talk about the national poverty line compared to poverty in Lawrence. According to healthcare.gov, the average income for a family of 4 who lives at the poverty line is around $25,000. This is a huge problem, especially in Lawrence, because according to bestplaces.net, there's a significant amount of people in Lawrence who are living at this poverty line. And a quote from LJ World by Officer Dinsdale says, "We routinely get families that are living in a car at Clinton Lake. The homeless population in Lawrence is more than just a few people. There are many families with children living in cars down by Clinton Lake, and they're missing out on education and an experience that most kids get to experience growing up."
There's many studies that show that homelessness is associated with dropout rates. According to the United States Department of Education, children who do not have a stable home or move around from home to home a lot are extremely more likely to fail or drop out of school at any level before college. And this is obviously a serious problem because those kids are not having a stable kind of place to go to continuously to improve themselves. They're hanging out with their parents who are on the streets, and they're not being surrounded by good role models on how they are able to succeed, and will also likely fall into homelessness themselves. According to American Psychological Association, shows that the bottom 20% of people or children in a socioeconomic class are 5 times as likely to drop out than those in the top 20%. And it's very obvious why this is a serious issue is because just by being on that lower half, kids are extremely more likely, which means they're in way more dire need than those people at the top 20%.
So with the $25,000, our solution is to create and establish a nonprofit organization called Education for a Greater Lawrence. We want to develop an educational program geared towards educating the homeless in Lawrence at no cost. The program would be hosted at the Lawrence Community Shelter 3 days a week with volunteers mainly from KU. These volunteers can range from professors, TAs, and anyone that wants to educate the homeless on financial problems and how to get out of their situations. We'd have classes on how to budget money, we'd have classes on how to budget time, we'd have classes on how to find a job, and we'd also have classes on how to save. In addition, we'd add classes after time for what they need. These classes will be free, as I stated, to the community with the hopes that they will bring others and bring the rest of the homeless community into the Lawrence Community Shelter so that they can all learn about the ways to get out of their situations.
The money we're requesting from you will go towards paid volunteers, school supplies, snacks and water, dress clothes for interviews, transportation, rent, and any other needs. This is a great opportunity for everyone in Lawrence because the homeless will be receiving a free, high-quality education, and the volunteers will get to be a part of something bigger than themselves, an education for a greater Lawrence.
According to FAFSA reports from 2010 to 2013, roughly 58,000 students indicated that they were homeless or did not have a stable living place, which is a 75% increase from 2010. So obviously this is a extremely rapid issue that is growing super fast with that large of an increase, and it's obviously a very daunting thing to take on. But with our solutions, we think it's really easy to make at least a large impact in the Lawrence community to quickly impact this number in the opposite direction.
So our first solution is we want to solve the homeless population in Lawrence. So the first source we found was from moneyhabitudes.com. And Virginia had a very similar plan to what we want to bring out. They set up 4 classes hoping to teach their students how to save their money. The 4 classes were how to save money, how to budget their money, how to understand credit, and how to properly bank and successfully invest their money. So these classes showed absolutely tremendous results. 90% of the students that attended these 4 classes did not return to homelessness. These classes clearly helped them better understand budgeting and saving, while at the same time showing them how to set up credit or understand credit and set up their banking. With proof that this can work, we feel that this idea is important and can be a great success for the homeless community in Lawrence. Our second source is from the National Alliance to End Homelessness, and financial illiteracy is clearly a problem amongst the homeless. So there was a program started by a bank in 2006 in San Francisco called Bank On. They were aimed at a very similar thing that the Virginia program was educating the homeless population in their city only, so San Francisco. The program was called Bank On, and they've had a crucial part in helping the homeless rates go down in their city as well as other cities, as they have expanded to over 70 communities since 2006. This program has shown extreme success just like Virginia, and there's clearly a need and a want for the homeless to get educated financially.
With your donation, we believe that we can use our program in Education for a Greater Lawrence to reduce the amount of people in Lawrence living at or below the poverty line. According to the Center for Poverty Research at the University of California, 40 million Americans live at or below this poverty line. 50% of these individuals did not obtain a college degree, and even more did not finish high school. This is a staggering stat, and because there is such a strong correlation between poverty and lack of education, we can infer that by offering these free classes to the homeless, we can give them an opportunity for free education, and this will drastically reduce the homeless population in Lawrence.
Dropout rates, with your help, the stakeholders, will hopefully decrease homeless population in Lawrence, which has been evident throughout the entire United States. So according to DoSomething.org, 1.2 million students drop out of school prior to college currently in the United States. That's roughly a student every 26 seconds. So every 26 seconds, a student in the United States is dropping out of school. And that's over 7,000 a day. So obviously this is a super fast rate of students dropping out of high school or previous education. But the cool thing about this is the previous year was about 8.5% of a dropout rate, and it's now down to 7.4%. And this, according to DoSomething.org, is mainly due to several education programs for impoverished people across the nation, and that's kind of what it's credited to. Between 1974 and 2004, for high school dropouts, the income is now a third of what it was 30 years ago, which is a serious problem because it's something that people are not desiring anymore. They don't want to hire high school dropouts or people with little education. So that's gone down rapidly. But kind of the cool thing about this is people with education of just financial literacy programs, that number actually doubles just by going to a few classes, which is obviously a huge benefit.
So to recap, today we talked about why homelessness is a problem in Lawrence, why it's associated with dropout rates and the overall homeless population in Lawrence. We then showed you what our NPO was, which is Education for Greater Lawrence, and why it can work. The Virginia example is a clear example of why our NPO can work, with the staggering statistic of 90% of them not returning to homelessness. Education for Greater Lawrence is a great solution for the future, and we need your guys' help to save the homeless population in Lawrence. EFGL will give the homeless population a way out, and with your funds we can start today.
We know that Education for Greater Lawrence will be successful in eradicating homelessness in our community by offering free financial classes to these individuals. We know from success stories from other programs similar to ours that we will be successful and can expect to achieve similar results. The homeless population in Lawrence is desperate for a chance to succeed, and they need your help to make this program possible.
Too often, people across the entire nation, and specifically in our community, inhumanely avoid homeless people and look away and pretend that they don't even exist, simply because we don't want to address the fact of homelessness. Our organization hopes to eliminate the guilt we all feel by providing the opportunity to have good and decrease this homeless population, and give comfort to the decreasing homeless population rates throughout all of our educational programs, and take away that guilt that everyone feels and actually have something where they can do and benefit the society as a whole.
Thank you.
They all partner with Feeding Lawrence. We'll feed the homeless kids.
Absolutely.
Where would you hold the classes?
At the Lawrence Community Shelter, they have large areas where we'd be able to do it really easily, and it wouldn't cost us anything because they obviously would want to be involved with this because we'd come to them, and all the people would already be there.
And they currently do offer sort of classes, it's kind of like a safe space for people to go to, and they are big lecture halls, so it'd be a great place to hold it.
Anybody have any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.